Welcome to another episode of George on Philosophy. I'm your host, George, and I'm thrilled that you've joined me today. We'll be exploring a profoundly simple question that has challenged humanity's finest minds since we first awoke to consciousness. How should we live our lives? As basic as it is, this question seems to be ultimately unsolvable at its core. This is due to one constant element: change. Our environment changes, societal values and norms evolve, and personal growth and introspection enlighten us about new facets of our existence. This consistent flux reaches the answer of how should we live and renders it elusive and temporary, like a mirage in a desert. However, philosophers across the spectrum, the ancient Greeks to the modern theorists, have proposed frameworks worth pondering upon. The ancient Greeks, for instance, advocated for different approaches. Socrates suggested to know thyself, while Aristotle proposed living according to reason, actualizing our potential. Epicurus, on the other hand, believed that seeking modest, sustainable pleasures is the key to achieve tranquility and freedom from fear. Leaping forward into recent centuries, existentialists prompt us to create our own meaning in life to combat its inherent absurdity and apparent pointlessness. Conversely, the utilitarians argue that our actions should maximize overall happiness and well-being for the maximum number of people. Switching gears and examining the Eastern philosophical context, Confucianism places relationships at the heart of leading a good life. The right conduct in our social relationships, for Confucius, holds the key to social harmony and personal satisfaction. Meanwhile, Buddhism teaches the middle way, avoiding extremes of pleasure and asceticism. But what does it all boil down to? Of course, there is no finite, definitive answer. The beauty of this question lies not in its resolution, but what it allows us to explore, what it teaches us about our desires, hopes, and fears, and most importantly, our conceptions of self. Yet, as different as these philosophical traditions may be, they converge on one point: the importance of reflection. Indeed, whether we're following our reason, seeking pleasure, or aiming at benevolence, we must first understand ourselves, our capacities, our emotions, our place within the fabric of society. So, perhaps the question we should be asking is not, how should we live, but, how do we understand ourselves? The latter is the journey of a lifetime, filled with introspection and self-discovery, where inner peace may also come with acceptance and understanding of the self. Ultimately, the way we choose to live our lives is a series of choices we make every day, colored by our inherent viewpoints, our perspectives, and the philosophies we adopt. So, keep asking the question, keep exploring the paths, and certainly, keep living to the fullest extent possible. That's all from today's thoughts. I'm George, your philosophical guide. Join me next time on George on Philosophy as we continue our quest for wisdom and understanding. Until then, question everything, and find joy in the journey.